All right, so Ann writes she's part of the PT program in HSC, and she has notes in too many places. So I do too. I completely understand that, and that's why I think Google Keep is great for me. So all Google Keep is just a place that you can sign into from your Stony Brook work account, and you can create notes and lists, reminders, and you can even share those lists or notes with other people to help keep them on task. So I'm going to go through my slides, which is, maybe like 9 or 10, and then we'll dive right into the program. And if you want to follow along, you're more than welcome to. You can find Google Keep if you go to your email, and then you go to this little waffle thing up here, and then Google Keep should be one of these items here. Okay, so mine is right here. So let's get started with the presentation. And okay, so Google Keep, here's a screenshot of Google Keep, and I'll send you these slides afterwards in a follow-up email. Good morning, Gifty, welcome. We're just getting started. So anyway, this is slide 2. What is Google Keep? It's just a place online to keep lists, to share your lists. You can make notes while watching one of my how-to videos. You can set reminders for yourself, and you can drag and drop these lists and notes into Google Docs, and it's just, there's just a lot of functionality, and I'll showcase that for you. You can get Google Keep on to any of your devices, obviously on your computer, which is what I'm showing you here, but you can also get Google Keep on your tablet or your mobile phone, and I have links to those items here, but I will send you these slides so you can get them as well. For example, you might want to, I might keep a running shopping list, and when I'm after work, if I go to the grocery store, I might want to look at that shopping list, and like throughout the day, I might say, oh, I need milk or bread or whatever, and then at the end of the day, when I'm running off, when I have time to go to the grocery store, I would just take a look at my keep list and get what I need to get. But this is really interesting, this Chrome app, and I like this a lot, and I'm going to showcase this to you. I'm also going to show you how this looks on, how Google Keep looks on a tablet as well. But let me just install this, and the quick way to install it is just to click on this link, and then click Add to Chrome. And then this is just the confirmation page, and then you just click Add Extension. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see my screen a little bit better. And that was just a confirmation to let me know that Google Keep has been added. It's kind of grayed out. It almost looks like it's not even installed, but it is, and I'll showcase that to you in a little bit. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to install the Google Keep extension. So let's move on. And like I said before, I'm just going to go through my slides, and then we'll dive right into the application. Hi, Maddie. Welcome. How are you? Please tell me why you've decided to come to this workshop. I'm curious to know. And what I'll do during this webinar is, I may not get to your question right away, but when I do look over at the comments, I'll address them as I take like a break from the slides. So Gifty writes, no Post-its, but notes are everywhere. I see. Yeah, same story with everybody else. So what I like about this extension is that I can watch a video, and at the same time I'm watching a video, I can take notes. So since I'm on that slide, let me just showcase that to you. I'll look for a TEDx video. Okay, so I'll just pick, what's a good one? How to be more creative, go for a walk. So I can watch this video, right? And let me just I just want to minimize it as soon as it lets me, I'm sorry, pause it as soon as it lets me because it's just distracting. And then as I'm watching the video, you can see that my Chrome extension for Google Keep kind of lit up just a little bit, but when I click on it, it captures the link to the video, and as I'm watching it, I can take notes. So if I want to watch it and take notes, I can do that. Okay. So in the same screen that you're watching your video, you can take notes, which I think is pretty interesting. And we'll take a look at that in a minute. When you create, when you add reminders to your keep lists, they'll pop up in your, wherever your clock is, or in the middle of your screen. You'll actually get two pop-ups, one in the keep window and one next to your clock. You can do keep notes on mobile. On mobile, meaning your tablet or your iPhone or your Android phone. And what I like about the mobile app is I can draw, so I can, you know, sign things or write things down. I can use voice typing, and I can take pictures with a camera. And it'll all go on Google Keep, and I'll demonstrate that because that's pretty neat as well. You can also drag your notes from the sidebar here into a Google Doc, Sheets, or Slides. So if you do keep, you know, I'll just call them electronic Post-its. You can drag those right into the document, the Google document that you're working in. Another thing that you can do is if you get an email of something you need to take care of, you can drag that email into a Google Keep list. And that'll make a link to your, when you look at your Google Keep list, it'll make a link to your email, so you can always take a look at that email, as long as you didn't delete it. Okay? And this is the newest feature, is that in Calendar, Mail, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, you'll see this Google Keep icon, so you can always refer back to your notes or your lists. Last thing, one thing I could not get to work is, and I'm a little disappointed with that, and I have to do some more testing, is that they have location reminders. So let's say you have a Google Keep list on your phone, and it's a grocery list for, say, Trader Joe's. When you drive by a Trader Joe's, it's supposed to pop up on your phone, and that's the way I understand the way it works, but I haven't gotten it to work. And that's the end of my slide. So I'm going to dive right into the application and show you these items. So you can access Google Keep by clicking on this little waffle here and then clicking on Google Keep here. I have a link to it on my bookmarks bar, so I'll get to it from here, and you can follow along if you like. And here's the Google Keep window. You can see that I have a few things, a few Post-its over here, and I can make my Post-its different colors. And I make to-do lists. I make like a project list or a brainstorming list. I take notes. Up on top here, I can search for, do a keyword search on any list that I created. This is like this list view. I'm not sure if I like that very much, but you can look at everything one at a time like that. I don't really like it. I like it messy like this. So that way I have all my other Post-its all pinned together like that. And here I can get to more Google Apps. On the side here, this is notes. This is like your home page. But if you want to see the lists that you made reminders on, you can click on that. And you can see here I have a couple that reminders on these items. I can have labels just like in Google Mail. And I can archive items just like in Google Mail. And I can trash items just like in Google Mail. Okay? So let's create our first list. Oh, by the way, when I go back to the home page, I have a pinned list of what we're going to talk about today. So I think I gave you a pretty good explanation of what Google Keep is. So I took care of that task. I'm just going to check it off. And you can see down at the bottom that it's crossed off here, so I can get that sense of completion when I complete everything on my list. Where can you get Google Keep? I showed you one place over here in that Google Apps section, but you can also type in keep.google.com, and you can get the Chrome app, and you can get the tablet and iPhone or mobile phone apps as well, and I'll send you the links to those. So what are the tools? I gave you a quick tour of the tools, so I'm done with that. And types of notes, I'm going to do that in just a second. So I can start taking a note if someone's talking to me and I want to say, okay, hold on, let me just take note. I can click on here, take note, and then just type wildly if I want to. Okay? Pretty easy. I'm going to close this, and if I want to make a list, which I do that often, I use lists for, like task lists. I also make a list of everything I do each week, and then I send that off to my supervisor just so she knows what I'm up to and so that she's aware. So I would click on the list and say, this week, and I did a Google Keep webinar, helped somebody with something. So you get the idea. And all I'm doing is hitting enter, and it goes down to the next line. Over here, I can add an image. So maybe there's a logo or something that I want to just kind of keep here and use it when I need to use it. I can click on the image logo, and it goes to my images. I'm going to pick Grumpy Cat here. And now I have Grumpy Cat in my Google Keep. If I click on it, I can print it out, but I can also annotate it. So if I want to, you can just, draw glasses or whatever you want and just kind of annotate it. Fun stuff to do, I guess, right? And close. Okay, you don't see my lists up here because I have this one pinned to the top. This is the most important one for me right now because I'm delivering this webinar. All the other ones get thrown down to the bottom. This one I don't need, so I can just click on the three dots and delete it. I can move them around, drag them around to reorder them if I like. And then I can also add color to them by clicking on this color palette down at the bottom. You get these tools down here. One is to remind me, which I'll show you in a second. You can share this with somebody, and you can also make this a different color. When you're done with this list, you can archive it and get it out of your workspace. And everything you archive is down on the left over here until you throw it in the trash. Let me go back to the home screen. So I want to show you how you can share items. So let's say I wanted to share this item with my colleague. I can click on the little person with the plus sign and then just simply add them just like I would with a Google Doc. It pulls up my contacts list, and then I can click Save, and both Julie and I now have access to this one Post-it. And this Post-it will be in her Google Keep area as well. Another thing I can do, and if you want to follow along, pick out one of your Post-its and click on Remind Me. And I can set a reminder for this Post-it to pop up closer to when I want to work on it. So for example, let's say you were brainstorming an idea about a project with somebody, and the project's not due for another 2 weeks, and you got other projects to take care of. So you really don't want to think about this brainstorming event until next week. You can have it be pushed into the archive, or actually you can push it into the archive, but if you set a reminder, the reminder will pop it back into your workspace again. So what I mean by that is, and I'll set the reminder. Hi Maureen, I see you, welcome. So I'm going to set my reminder for, I'm going to pick a date and time. It's going to be for today at, let's see, what time is it? It's 11:17. I'm going to make it for 11:19. Just to showcase how this works. And then click Save. And then I'm going to archive Grumpy Cat so he's out of my workspace. So all I see here is my Google Keep lesson plan and then all my other Post-its. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to get an alert from my clock, an alert up on top here, and my Grumpy Cat is going to reappear into my workspace here. So I'm going to check off reminders here and check off the Chrome extension because I already showcased that. And the next thing I'm going to talk about while we wait for that reminder is the mobile app. Now, what I normally do in these workshops is show you a screen of my iPad, but for some reason this morning I couldn't get it to work properly. So I'm just going to, I have Google Keep downloaded to my iPad, so if you can envision me looking at my iPad now. And I'm going to open up the Google Keep app, okay, which is, it is signed into my Stony Brook account. And I'm going to start a new list. And I'm just going to write hello. Okay. And momentarily, you will see my new list. Oh, okay. So we got Grumpy Cat reappearing, and we also see in my new list, hello. So let me show you, I'm going to delete that list, and I'll show you a couple of other things that only the mobile app can do. So in the mobile app, I can draw with my fingers. A, C. And you can see it's creating a thumbnail. And there's my writing. Great stuff, right? But it gets better. I can do voice typing. I can do voice typing. I love doing voice typing. And there's my voice typing Post-it. I can also click the little play button to hear myself, which I don't prefer to do. And lastly, I could take a picture. So I'm going to set it up to take a picture. I'm going to take a picture of my workspace here so you can see what I'm doing and how I set up. I just tap Use Photo. And there, this is my workspace. This is what I'm looking at right now. Okay? Now, you know, these pictures are so good, it's almost as good as scanning a document. So I've used this in the past where I needed to scan a receipt or some sort of document, and that way I can make use of the search bar to find it and the labels to find that document. So I don't just take random pictures and put it in Google Keep. I take pictures of documents like as a scanned document. All right, so let's go back to my list, see what I've taken care of. So I've done the mobile apps. I've done the types of lists. Please ask any questions if you have any in the chat. And then, let me see, Google Keep with Google Docs and Sheets. I'll do that in a second. And then Google Keep, the new email feature. So, if I go to my, I'm going to do the new email feature. So if I go to my mail, I can see Google Keeps. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. Oops, that's too big. I can get my Google Keep lists here while I'm writing email. Okay. I can make Google Keep lists while I'm writing email as well. So let's say let me pick a good one. Here, the Statesman. I can take a note, and it puts the Statesman email, a link to the Statesman email, into my Post-it. So I'll just make this one called Statesman. Done. And then when I actually go to Keep, here's my, oh, I didn't type in everything. That's weird. But I can always go to my email by clicking on this. So that way I always have records of my email in my Keep notes. So let me close out of that. And if I go to Google Drive and I open up a spreadsheet, you can do a spreadsheet, a Google Doc, Google Slides, whatever. I have access to my Google Keep right on the side here. So I can keep that list open while I'm doing any kind of work, which I think is pretty neat. Okay, so let's get to that last item. Oh, I did. Google Sheets with, oh, no, I didn't do that one. So let me cross off this one and show you one last thing. If this is really if I want to get this into a Google Doc, it's really simple. All I have to do here is pick one of my lists or one of my notes, click on More, and then add to Google Doc. So you can see it's copying to the Google Docs, and then I can open up a Google Doc, and here it added my notes, created a brand new Google Doc, and added my notes. And then I can do whatever I want with that. All right, so I went through my entire list of all the cool things you can do with Google Keep. I've completed all 9 of my items, and my project is finished. I can now archive this list, and then I'm done with that project. So let me ask you, is there anything that you want me to show you again? If not, or if there's nothing you want me to show you again, please write into the chat how you're going to use this tool today. Donna, I have never linked Google Map to info into Keep. How would you use that, Donna? Do you mean open up a Google Map? So if I go to Google Maps, so here's Google Maps, and I guess, I don't know, let's see, if I zoom in. So let's say I want to zoom into here. I guess I can copy this and let me see, I mean, I could put it in Google Keep this way. And save it that way. Is that what you mean? So you have a lot of, so Donna says, I have a lot of club contacts and tend to forget where they live. I thought about screenshots from map to remind myself. You know what? There's a better way, and you can use Google Maps in Google Drive. If you go to New, More, you can make maps. You can also add them to your contacts. I have a webinar, not a webinar, but I might have a webinar soon on making Google Maps. So is there anything else, or can I let you go for the weekend? So Karen writes, I plan to add the Chrome extension and transfer info from some of my lists to many ongoing projects. Great job. Yeah, definitely, Karen. That sounds great. So how else are any of you going to use Google Drive today? I'm sorry, Google Keep today? I use it daily. I jot down everything I do. Any brainstorming session I jot down. Anytime I need to start writing something and to open up like something really quick, I'll either open it up in an email and email it to myself, or I'll make it in a Google Keep. Norma's going to use it during meetings. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And Arslan, thank you so much. I hope I said your name correctly. Thank you so much. So it's 11:29. I've used up 29 minutes of your time. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will be sending up a follow-up email to everyone.